All right, it is actually 8:01, so I'm a little bit behind. 1 minute. Oops, hold on just a second. Forgot to turn my laptop volume off, so I got echoing here, but I fixed that. So, um, I hope you guys are doing great. It's Friday. It's Friday the 13th. Did anybody notice I actually went on at 7 o'clock? Like, that was a mental. Like, we're so hot here. The temperature is crazy. So hot. So, anyway, I don't know why I went on it live at 7, but I noticed about a minute afterwards, I'm like, it's 8 o'clock, Karen, not 7. But anyway, I hope you guys found me, and we are going to get started. So I've got a lot of like infomercials, and I'll try to get that done in 5 minutes so we can get crafty with the 3 cards here. So, all right, we are going to be going over my host code for August, which you can see in front of you. And somewhere I had the gems, but who the heck knows where they are. But anyway, they are the in color jewels from 2021 to 2023. Those were so popular when they first came out that they totally went on back order, but they're no longer on back order as of the last time I checked. So I decided I would make those my August thank you for orders $40 and above. So if you're purchasing from 40 to 149.99, make sure you use that host code, which is right there, FRNX3DUN. And again, I don't come up with those codes, Stampin' Up does. And you will earn a free pack of the in color jewels, which will be shipped in September, about mid-September when I get them, after I close out the host code on the last day of August. And if you order over $149.99, don't use that host code so you can earn the Stampin' Rewards. And I still will send you the in color jewels along with a cute card. So that's my first reminder. I'm doing a mini catalog paper share. It expires on tomorrow, actually. So you got less than 24 hours to join. And you can email me for the link, inspiredbygraham@gmail.com. I will be happy to send you the link. So that is the mini catalog paper share. And then join Inspire Daisy's team, join Stampin' Up. So most of you know, some of you are demonstrators, some of you are not that watch me, but now is a great time to join during celebration. And the reason why is a lot of things. If you are purchasing consistently paper crafting supplies, there's no need to pay retail pricing. You should purchase your starter kit for $99, and you get $125 worth of products, plus you get a free bundle, a choice from all of these, and there's 12 of them there that you can choose from. You would also receive a free paper pumpkin kit. It's a pass kit, but it's a free kit. Free shipping. You'll get 20% on your next your demonstrator order, and then you can earn up to 25%. You'll get access to all of my online classes plus my tutorials for free. Those are all on a private Facebook group. We do monthly virtual gatherings with Inspire Daisies, team swaps, sketch challenges, color challenges, techniques. And we most recently did a die cut swap. So I will be looking at my die cut swap later tonight. I got mine in the mail from Christine. So that is that. So now if you want to know where all the Inspired Daisies are, here they are. So I created this map because I am a kind of a visual person, and I like to know where all of my daisies are from. So you can see a lot of them are on the East Coast, but we do have one in Texas, one in Oregon, and one in Washington. So we would love to fill up every single state, including Alaska and Hawaii, of course. So if you represent one of those states, or even maybe one that it's already covered, we'd love to have you on the Inspired Daisies team of stampers. So you can join at inspiredbygraham.com and hit the join now button at the top, and it'll walk you through everything. So that's that. I will have, don't faint everyone, okay, because I've only done one craft fair video since January. And it's because my paper crafting card business, like my Stampin' Up! Business has gotten so extremely busy that I had to put a back seat to the craft fair business. I'm only going to be doing one craft fair this year. It's in November, and it's in my hometown, which is like 90 minutes away from where I live. But I'd like to do that one because I do very well there. I get to see a lot of my friends and relatives, and also it's a place where my grandmother used to sell her crafts. So I didn't want to give that one up. So we'll be doing that one. I think it's November 5th. It's a Saturday, the first Saturday in November. So I'll be doing that. And you guys, I don't know if you've seen my list pad video before, but in 2019 was my last craft fair. And I brought these in at the last minute, and they really sold super great. So I just made about, I don't know, 15 or 20 of them. And I like, when I do my craft fair videos, I like to show more than one piece done to give you lots of ideas on how you can create and design these list pads. These were 88 cents at Walmart, and I can sell them for $5. And I'll show you on a video. So I'm also going to have an ordering special with that craft fair video too. So stay tuned to that. And then my card club reminder, that closes out next Thursday, Friday the 20th. So you have a week left to register for card club. If you've already registered, don't worry about that. But here are the sample cards that I made using Beauty of the Earth. And I love that little bird. Isn't that so super cute? So that's number one. Number two showcases both sides of the designer series paper. We'll be using Simply Elegant trim, which comes in gold and silver. You'll have a lot left over, and that is great trim to use for Christmas cards. The elegant faceted gems are the embellishments of choice too. And here's a bookbinding fold too with those two little birds there. I do all the die cutting for you guys. You just have to cut your designer series paper. And there's the inside. So I love this design. I love this bookbinding fold. It's one of my favorite folds, and it's so easy to do. So that's Card Club. The next thing we are going to be also doing is, since you guys all kind of watch me on Friday nights, I think I am going to be putting together a kit night, and it'll be by Zoom. And I think it's going to be towards the end of August, maybe the first, somewhere around there. I've got to market it yet, but kit night will be using the kits that are part of Stampin' Up! Now, and they come price point two different ways, $19 or $12. So for $19, they're kind of like the paper pumpkin kits, but I guess it's a lot better. I've got to put these all together, but you'll get to order whatever one you want. You'll get a Stampin' spot at the $19 price point, plus a stamp set and a block. Let me just take this out because it's kind of stuck in there. So here's one. This is for the guys card kit. Great kit for guy cards, and we all know that we need more guy cards, right? So that's one of the kits. I bought 4 of them to make up because I'm going to bring them to my in-person class with Parks and Rec so everybody can see them. And then here's a kit for $12. So this is super cool because this one's called Kerchief Card Kit. You get everything to put together. There's no stamping. you just gotta assemble. Now, how cool is that, right? So if you don't have a lot of supplies and you wanna make cards, this is a great kit to purchase, $12. All right, so that is the kits. Now we're gonna make some cards. So I'm gonna be using, these are the cards. So we're kind of be using the Celebrate Sunflowers Cling stamp set. I don't know if you guys all remember this one. It carried over with the annual catalog. I love it, especially this time of year. But I'm also going to do a non-traditional sunflower using soft succulent green. And I need to actually pause because it is so hot in our house that my craft room is the only room that has an air conditioner. I have it blasting and it's only like maybe 4 or 5 feet away from me. So can somebody comment to let me know if you can, if it's like too loud? Because if it's too loud, I'm going to just shut it off, because I don't want like that running in the background. So somebody please comment, let me know if they can hear it or not. So I'll watch the comments. My laptop like totally goes like 15 to 20 seconds delayed. So I'll wait for somebody to comment before I start making the cards. AC not too loud for me. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to go for it because if I turn it off, I'm going to be dripping sweat because it's like 87 degrees in our upstairs. Okay, so not too loud. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate that because I think we have, today's the last day of this huge, it was 96 degrees when I left work. And I know it's hotter in some locations, but for us here, when I got home, it was 94. Usually it's like 6 to 8 degrees cooler where I live. And it wasn't, so it is just so hot. Anyway, enough of that. Because guess what? Sometime in the next, I don't know, month, we'll be complaining because it's too cold. But that's how it is here. We never have a summer that's long enough. All right, so we're going to be making sunflowers. 2 cards that are sunflowers and 1 that's kind of using all different patterns of the Designer Series paper. So I'm going to be using the Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper, which is found in the mini catalog, and just a simple inside with the white and the sentiment. And here's one that uses all different kinds of the patterns. And then here's the non-traditional sunflower with the mint, or not the mint macaron, but we actually do use mint macaron in this with the soft succulent colors. I really like this design. I love the colors that are soft with a hint of the So Saffron and what's that other color called? Pale Papaya. So we're going to make this one first. I'm going to use the mini cut and emboss to die cut that one out. But that's all the die cutting we'll have to do tonight. So let me just grab everything and we'll get started. All right. Carla, you're baking there too? Okay. Yeah, if you have an air conditioner, it's so nice. Like I said, I was able to actually buy this one with some of my Stampin' Up money last year. There's no way I can craft in this room when it gets so hot in the afternoon. It's just absolutely nuts. Okay, we are going to stamp. And as you can tell, I already stamped it before, but I'm going to stamp it again. All right, so I've got my sunflower. This is the smaller one here, and it's on a D block. We'll be using Memento black ink, which was here. Oh, guess what I found, you guys? I found my Stitch So Sweetly die. I think it was this one that I lost for 10 months. And I found it wedged up behind the desk that I use. Like, that was such a fun find. I couldn't believe it. All right, so I've got my Memento. I always take the Memento ink pad to the stamp just because I have more control with it. And then we're just gonna stamp off here on this side. Hold it down just a little bit because it's humid and we just want that ink to absorb. So that is that. This one here is a strip of Cajun Craze. Thanks a bunch. Now I stamped this tone on tone here. If you wanted a different color, then you could simply maybe stamp in black, or you could pick up maybe a Mossy Meadow, which would be, it would be green, but it would be a really darker ink color. I'm just gonna stamp tone on tone using the Cajun Craze. And then this is gonna get stamped over towards the right. Okay, so easy. All right, I'm gonna close that up. And now we just need to color. And I will try to go as fast as I can coloring, because who wants to watch Karen color? Well, not me, but I got a color for you. So with this one, I used the dark and light Cajun Craze, and I also used a retired color, which is called Dark Mango Melody. I just have it. I've got light and dark Old Olive, and I'm using light and dark Crumb Cake. So how I did this, because let me just bring this in a little bit. We've got a little bit of that yellow showing on the outside. So I like to use the chisel point. Let me just take this off. I like to use a chisel point only because I have more control, and I'm not like a super fancy blending person. If you want to watch somebody that can really color, I would highly suggest another demonstrator. Her name is Patty Bennett. She has been a demonstrator for well over 20 years, and she can just blend so nicely. I just try to do the best I can, and sometimes it comes out pretty good. Something like this is kind of simple. So like I'm just coloring around here. And then I'm gonna take the light Cajun Craze and then just kind of go over that dark, but I'm not going all the way to the tip because we're gonna save that for the Mango Melody. Hopefully the camera's not too far away and that you can kind of see this. Okay, and now it kind of looks like a circle, but we'll make it look better. Now I'm going to take that Mango Melody. If you don't have Mango Melody, then I would suggest maybe a Daffodil Delight. That would work nice too. So I'm just coloring right up to the point of that petal and bringing the color down towards the middle of the sunflower. And I'm just gonna keep turning it around. And you can see when I push the color down into that Cajun Craze, well, it's kind of going into the paper and it's kind of popping through. So we're just gonna keep going around. And you guys know I will try to look at the comments, but I try to focus more on what I'm doing here so I don't make a huge mess. And for some reason, I can't go back when I finish a video, I can't go back and comment. So I'm not really sure how to do that. So if you have any questions and if I don't answer them, then just email me, message me on Facebook as well. I will definitely answer you. Okay, so that's kind of fun, right? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on the leaves. I've got Old Olive. And I'm gonna go over those dark areas. There's only 2 leaves, so that's good. Again, you guys know I like odd numbers, so 3 leaves would have been a little bit better for me, but let's go with 2. Now I'm taking the light one and I'm just kind of going over the dark and pushing up into the area that I didn't color. Okay, now we have the middle. I'm going to start with the dark and I'm going to go around the circle, the outside of it. And then I'm just going to kind of go a little bit in the middle. Then I'm going to go with a lighter crumb cake. And now I'm going to come back with the dark. And I'm just going to go over it one time. Just going to get that lighter area a little bit darker. It's still going to be two-toned once it dries. Okay, so that is good. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see it. If I got it close enough or not. But it's really pretty. All right, so now we're going to, let's die cut first. I'm going to take the mini cut and emboss machine here. This is on my desk 24/7. Just because it's so handy. If I want to simply cut something very quickly, I just grab it. Okay, now the die is going to get put on here. I got to get some washi tape because the mini cut and emboss does not come with a magnetic platform. So when the plates get a little warped like mine are, I always add some washi tape. And this will just help keep that die in place and it won't shift, hopefully. Sometimes it does, but for the most part, it works. So the die, I'm focusing on the leaves. All right, so I've got the number 1, number 2, the cardstock, the die, and then I'm going to slide another 2 in there. That is our sandwich. And then I'm just going to crank it through. Okay, let's close it up. That's the only die cutting we'll be doing tonight. So let's see what we have here. All right, so there is our die cut. It's really, so it's drying now, and that Cajun Craze I used in the middle is looking really nice. We're gonna add some Wink and Stella on this to even like bling it up even more. But right now we're going to assemble the card. And let's just kind of bring it in over here. I've got lots of little pieces here to put together. So this is the Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper. Again, it's available in the mini catalog. This is, I don't remember what my sizes were, but these 3 cards I used at our team meeting. We had our team meeting on Wednesday, and it was mystery card month. So sometimes we do make and takes, and sometimes we do mystery cards. So I gave our team 3 different cards, sizes for 3 different cards, all the paper they had to cut ahead of time, and then we made the cards together. I made mine, and I'm hoping some more of the team members will create theirs, and I'm pretty sure a couple of you guys are watching tonight, so I'm waiting to see your mystery cards. I won't put anybody on the spot though. All right, so that is that. You can actually add the thanks a bunch down at the bottom here. Again, this is Cajun Craze, and I stamped with Cajun Craze ink. I'm just gonna add it down at the bottom about almost a ½ an inch from the bottom up. Then let's do this one too, because I'm going to work on the smaller pieces. This is a strip of the Harvest Meadow, which is cut 3/4 of an inch by 4. And I'm just going to adhere it right down to the bottom. And then we can add this one to the inside. All right. Now, this is kind of the tricky part. We're gonna flip this over and let me find my Stampin Dimensionals. You're gonna wanna pop this one up. And I'm gonna add 4 Stampin Dimensionals. Now, I'm not gonna add one in the middle, and it's because the ribbon I'm using, it's called Fine Art ribbon. It's pretty thick, so I'm not too worried about a small piece like this buckling. I've got all those dimensional backings off. And grab my Fine Art ribbon here. It's got gold specks and it's got a kind of like a crumb cake color to it. All right, so I'm gonna add the ribbon so it's flat on the back. Let's grab our card here. We're gonna angle it to the front, and I'm gonna overlap it over to this on top of the bunch, the word bunch. So just like this, because the reason why I'm kind of moving it over more towards the right is because that bow is gonna land over here and it needs more of that base. So that's why I'm kind of pushed it way over here. It's only 1/4 of an inch. But that's the reason why. So we're gonna try to make a bow here. This ribbon is kind of thick to work with, and I was struggling the other night trying to do it, but we'll see if I can do it. And you wanna make that bow way over to the left. So we're just gonna loop it over. And see how I do. Not too bad. I'm gonna make it much smaller because we've got a small panel and you don't want that bow to be like too big. All right, I'm gonna grab my scissors that are ribbon scissors. I totally used too much ribbon, but normally I wouldn't have used that much, but okay. That's kind of a little wonky, but it's, you know what's bothering me is this one is just still too long. There. Okay, so I still might have to move this over just a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Now take the daisy and we're gonna add some Stampin Dimensionals here. Now, isn't that kind of pretty on the back side? That's why you want to use scratch paper underneath when you're coloring with blends, because it will go right through that basic white cardstock and make a really pretty design on the back side. All right, so now I want my leaves to go. Let me show you why I did it. So there's 2 leaves here, and I think putting them any other place than here will look awkward. So I kind of straddled it over the ribbon. So with our Stampin' Dimensionals, it's gonna pop up over the card. Kind of try to put it in the middle. Okay, isn't that awesome, right? So now we have to add some Wink of Stella. Actually, I'll do that last. I want to add the black dots. So these are the matte black dots. These would be, if you make Halloween cards or projects, these would be perfect for Halloween. They truly are dark. All right, so I want to put one at the top or the bottom and the top, and then I come back and I add one to the middle here, just so that I can get the spacing down. All right, so that is there, and now we're gonna add some of that Wink of Stella, and I'm just gonna do some brush strokes. And then, of course, the middle there. All right, so that's card number 1. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to try to bring it up as close as I can and like not overpower it. But can you see the Wink of Stella on that? Beautiful. And this course would cost extra to mail out just because of that huge knot, but you can, it's worth that extra postage. Oh, and the envelope, forgot to do the envelope. All you need to do is either add some designer series paper to the flap, or you can just stamp "Thanks a bunch." So here's that coordinating card, and I did this one a little bit bigger. It's just I love to use scraps, and it doesn't matter what size. I just add the scraps there and call it good. So there's that card. Now I'm going to clean up my area because we're going to be working on card number 2. So let me grab a bin. And I'm going to pick up all these things here, except for the Wink of Stella and Memento. All right, so the next card we're going to make is something extremely different, but I thought it kind of turned out pretty good, so we're gonna go with it. I did use a retired punch, which is a circle punch 2.5 inches, but you could use your layering circles if you don't have the punches and you have layering circles. Second. There it is. All right. So here are the pieces. There's not too much stamping involved in this card. I'm very simple stamper. You guys know that. So we're going to stamp "Let's Celebrate You" in Night of Navy. All right, so I've got that mounted on a D block. So I've just got a scrap of the basic white. And then we're gonna stamp Night of Navy onto the envelope. Simple, simple. We're done. And now it's a bunch of assembling. I've got Bumblebee cardstock. And here's another, that pattern paper from Meadow Harvest, or Harvest Meadow, whatever it's called. Hold on. Harvest Meadow. Okay, that's one of the patterns. And on the back side is this. It's kind of like got trees with, it kind of looks like snow on it. I'm not sure I'd use that for Christmas. It kind of looks dead to me, quite honestly. So we're going to turn that over. We don't want to see that. And I'll be quick so we don't have to see that pattern. I just don't like that pattern, to be honest with you. So we're just going to add the liquid glue to it. And then we're going to pop this right on here. This was cut 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and now when I was creating this card the other night with our team, I kind of struggled with this Misty Moonlight strip. I thought it might look better if we added it not on the bottom layer, but maybe over top of that Calypso Coral. So I'm gonna wing it and we're gonna try it. We're just gonna lay this out before we glue it all down. So if I go like this, and this, and this, I'm gonna do it that way. Let's try it, because then we can kind of see the difference. All right, so there's some more of that kind of dead looking tree, but it's not as bad. This is a pretty pattern too. It's very Victorian. I'm going to add this over towards the left side. Okay, Okay, and then I'm going to add this strip of Misty Moonlight. That's 1/2 inch by 5 1/4, so it goes edge to edge with the Designer Series paper. And I got a new bottle of liquid glue. I'm so scared to squeeze it too much, because we know what happens when you squeeze liquid glue too hard. It just goes everywhere. So I'm just trying to be as careful as I can. So you got a little bit too much over there. Okay, and now we're going to take that. Oh, I already punched this out. So this was the 2.5 inch circle punch. And I'm keeping my circle punches because I know Stampin' Up's going to come out with the circle punches again. They did retire them, but you know, they're going to come out again. I know they will. So I'm not going to not use my circle punches because I love punches and it's so super easy. All right, that's good. Now we're going to take this Let's Celebrate You, and I'm going to just fussy cut it really quick with my paper snips. I'm almost at a point where I'm actually almost too cold in my craft room. I don't dare to turn off that AC because probably by the time I get done the third card, I'll be dripping sweat. I was watching the news tonight while I was doing some of my list pads for my upcoming craft fair video, and Caribou, Maine was 90 degrees. Like, that is crazy. I don't know if I've ever heard that Caribou, Maine was that warm, but man, I tell you, the whole East Coast, crazy. All right, I'm gonna add the Stampin' Dimensionals because we need to put something, we need to lift this one up because you don't want it right smack down on that other paper just because it'll get lost. All right, so we'll just press those. I've got 3 on there. And then we're going to add this. Let's see where I want it. I want some of that Misty Moonlight showing. And I think it's gonna go, yeah, right there. And then I'm gonna finish it off with I had my Gilded Gems out somewhere. Here they are. I am actually fairly organized tonight, you guys. You would be very proud. I had this class, my YouTube live was all done on Monday. It's usually the night before, but I was able to get it done. So I'm gonna add 3. These come in 3 different sizes. Let's add one down here, and then one of these little tiny ones. We'll add. Now that won't look. That looks kind of weird. Let's go down here. All right, so that's the outside. Now we're just gonna finish the inside. And we've got this Designer Series paper again. This is cut 4 inches by 3/4 inch, and I'm gonna put it this way. You could actually cut a longer piece and make it go all the way across. But this was just a scrap that I had left over, so make sure you use your scraps. And then we'll just add this here. I always like to have some white popping through. And then we'll just add this panel to the inside. Okay, so there it is. So we have the inside and the outside, and then let me just put this one side by side. Yeah, I definitely like, for me, I like the Misty Moonlight strip all the way across, so you can kind of see it. Lori, I wouldn't get rid of any of my punches. I know that makes life so much easier, right? All right, so which one do you guys like better? Maybe you like both of them, the left or the right. I'll let some of you guys comment, and then while I am cleaning up my area for the next card. Right, left. Oh, right, left, right. So it's kind of like a 50-50. That's awesome. All right, so I'm going to move to the next card here, and it's going to be this one. I did a little bit of background stamping here with a leaf, and again on this one too, on the circle. But I wanted to do non-traditional sunflower colors, and that's what I came up with using soft succulent. I also used soft sea foam for that foliage. All right, there's my kit. Okay, so we got a lot of blends, and let me just show you the ink colors. So we've got soft succulent and soft sea foam, plus we need the memento black for our sunflowers. And then I've got for blends, I've got the dark and light soft succulent, and I'm gonna highlight with the dark mint macaron. And I also have dark and light so saffron, and for one of the sunflowers, and then for the other one I've got the light and dark pale papaya, and then for the centers of all of them I have the light crumb cake. All right, so, and we'll be embellishing with the Gilded Gems. All right, so we're going to stamp the sunflower first, and that way it will dry a little bit. Grab that stamp. It's still got some memento ink on it, but we're just going to re-ink it. Okay. Now I'm going to stamp. So I'm going to just show you, actually, kind of explain. When you stamp, like I've got 3 images here, and if you can notice that the leaves are all in a different direction. So when you're stamping like images like this, multiple of the same, make sure you rotate your stamp so you don't have the leaves all going in the same direction. It just gives the card a lot more character when you turn your stamp. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm just going to ink up here. All right, and then I'll just stamp this one a little bit differently. I'm going to stamp this one towards the top with the foliage going off to the right. There's not very much foliage there, but it is there. Then I'm going to rotate the stamp so that the foliage is now on the left. Okay. And now we're going to finish off with a third sunflower. It's going to be a smaller one, but we will stamp it down in the bottom corner. And I've got one of the foliages going off to the left side. Okay, you see that? So we're going to let that one dry. And then thought I punched a circle out, but I don't see it. We're going to use this piece of scrap here. I got to make sure though. I'm using another retired punch. I'm using the 1 3/4 inch punch. Just want to make sure that this is going to work. Yes, it should if I can stamp it correctly. So I've got soft seafoam for the foliage. And this is the foliage I'm using here. It's on a B block, but I'm doing 2nd generation ink. So we're going to stamp, I'm going to show you that's 1st generation, that is 2nd generation, so much lighter than this one. So we're just going to go back here, stamp off, and then stamp on the white at an angle. And then the soft succulent is going to be Know That You Are Loved, is going to be stamped in the soft succulent color. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to punch this out or if I'm going to have to stamp this. So let's see if I can do it and it still looks good. I think so. Barely. Oh my goodness. Did you guys see that? Landed right in the ink pad. That was kind of a silly mistake. We were lucky on that one. Okay. So yeah, I barely made it. All right, we're going to do the same thing for the envelope. So I'm going to show you that again. All right, so my foliage. And we're going to stamp off, and then we're going to stamp on. And then I'm going to take that soft succulent color and just ink up and then stamp right over there. So that adds a nice little feature, some background stamping. And my laptop kind of froze up, so hopefully I can get that back. I'm not sure why. Okay. Are you guys, can you guys see me or am I frozen? Oh, I am frozen. Oh, okay, I froze, but I think I got it. Can somebody tell me if you can see me? Am I still frozen? Oh, phew. Awesome. Cool. Because this is my favorite card and I didn't want you guys to miss out. Oh, wow. I don't know what happened, but somehow got it back. All right. Sorry about that. My apologies. Technology, right? You just never know what you're going to get. All right. So I'm going to focus on the top one there. That one is in Pale Papaya. So I'm going to try to go as quick as I can. And let me grab some of that scrap paper. And hopefully being on the yellow, you'll be able to see me a little bit better. So we've got the dark Pale Papaya. I might kind of jazz this one up a little bit. I don't know. I don't know how I can jazz it up. It's a very light shade. But Pale Papaya is one of the new in colors, and that goes nicely with the soft succulent. That's why I chose it. All right, that was dark, and now we're gonna throw in some light. And we'll have to remember that I've got to bling it out with some of that Wink of Stella. And I'll try to do the flicking technique with my blend. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm focusing on just the petals first, then we go back and do the foliage, and then we do the center. The reason why is because you can can color a lot faster when you're not having to change out all of your colors. So let's start now with this one. This marker, the Soft Succulent, has so much ink in it. Like I barely need to even press and there's like ink coming out. And it's funny because the Pale Papaya, I bought at the same time and I've used them equally. So I don't know what happened there, but anyway. Now this one's gonna have 3 colors on it, you guys. So I've got the dark Soft Succulent, then I'm highlighting with the light Soft Succulent, but I'm not going all the way to the ends of the petals, just a little bit. Then, I don't know if you can see this or not, the dark and the lighter shade, I'm going to highlight in, this is dark mint macaron. Just a different color, but goes really nicely with the Soft Succulent. Trying to stay in the lines like we were when we all colored when we were in our younger days. Stay in the lines. Almost done. Okay, so that is that one. Oh, I missed, actually that's foliage right there. Okay, so then the bottom one is going to be with So Saffron, and there's not as many petals, so this one should go fairly quickly. This is the dark. And then I'm going to switch over to the light. I've been working on purchasing more of the blends. I don't have all the colors, but I've probably got like 60% of them. So I love having them like on my desk, not hidden away, that's for sure, because if you hide your markers away, well then you'll never use them. So if I find that I have them on my desk, I'm more apt to use them, and I do have the Stampin' Up! Storage unit system, so that's really nice to have that. All right. Now I'm going to go back in and use the dark mint macaron, like totally different, right? For the foliage. Just using a kind of a bluish green. It's a color I would normally not use for foliage, but this is a different kind of card, non-traditional. And I'm not bothering to do dark and light, I'm just using one color for this. All right, and then the center. So see how easy that is? So you focus on your colors. Like now we're just going to do the centers of the sunflowers. Now I'm going to probably use my dark because this crumb cake is almost out. It appears. Yeah, it's totally almost out. Let me try to use, whoops. I'm going to try to use the brush tip and see what, oh, there we go. It's got more ink on that side. All right, I think I've got it all colored in. So Pale Papaya, Soft Succulent with the mint macaron, and so saffron. Those are kind of cute. All right, so now we're just gonna assemble the card, and looks like I did 2 bows here. I don't need 2, but I'll have an extra one for another card. Now this one is directional, so you got to make sure you're putting the script on correctly. This is cut 3 3/4 by 5, a different size than a 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to make sure my card base is opening up the correct way, which it is. So we're just going to add this down to the card front, equal borders, top, bottom, left, right. Okay, and then I've got a strip of the soft succulent, and I embossed it with an ornate floral. Okay, that looks super pretty. And it's going to go edge to edge, so it's cut 4 1/4 inches all the way across, and I think it's 1 1/2, something like that. And I always use liquid glue for embossed panels, just because there's always those nooks and crannies there. And I'm going to add it about less than half towards the bottom. Okay. Now we're going to take that panel that we colored here, and we're going to add Stampin Dimensionals to it. And since I used basic white, it's thinner, or it doesn't have another panel under it, so you need a lot of support with something thin. So we're going to add 5 dimensionals. Okay, 2 more. I love my Stampin' Storage bucket that I got last week. I think I showed you guys it. It's Stampin' Up! Used to make these things, but I bought some magnet sheets from Stampin' Storage, and so I got one of these. Look at this. It's going to get so full of scraps. I have it on my desk. So now my Stampin' Dimensional backings just go there. They don't go everywhere else. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to add this. So it's equal at the top and the bottom, and straight as best I can. Okay, now this circle here, we're going to put it somewhere. Now I don't want to cover up this daisy, so we're going to come up a little bit here. Now on this side here, you're going to want to put your liquid glue, but under this side you have to put Stampin' Dimensionals to get it equal to the same height. So just take 2 like that, and I'm going to peel these off first, then we'll add the liquid glue. Okay. All right, now we're just going to add this one right about here. I want some of this ornate floral coming through, but I really don't want to cover up that sunflower too much. Then I created a linen bow here, doubled it, put it on the glue dot, and I'm just going to pinch it. And then I'm going to place it right on the edge of that foliage there. Okay. And now I want to just trim those tails just a little bit, make them a little bit shorter. Just use my ribbon scissors here. Okay. Then let's take some Winkus. Oh wait, I want to put let's put the gems on. Now these come in 2 different colors, green and I think it's petal pink. So I used green on the other one. We'll use petal pink on this one. 1, 2, and oops, missed that one. 3. Actually, I don't want it straight down, so go right there. Now, Winkus Stella goes on next. I'm just going to shake it on up here, and then we're going to brush stroke the petals first. And then make sure you get the center, and then we'll brush stroke these. I'm going to try to flick with my Stampin' Blends, so stick around to see that. And when I flick, It's gonna, I want it to get some of that white area. Some little dots on it. So this could turn into a disaster, or it might work. I'm gonna use the lighter soft succulent, and I'm not sure what tip I want to use. I'm gonna try the chisel side tip to flick. So I'm going to take my point here and I'm going to put it on this cap and I'm just going to flick. It's starting to work. There we go. There's some. I'll bring it up to the camera so you can see it. Okay, that should be good. You can also flick with, not flick, you can tap with the Wink of Stella. So to do that, I'm just going to take my take your pick tool and hit it. And it's going to splatter some of that Wink of Stella onto the card. So let me just show you. So right here is the splatter that I was referring to with the soft succulent. It's also splattered with the Wink of Stella. You can really see it right here, hopefully. Let me kind of tilt the card. Sometimes if I tilt it, it looks better. But it looks pretty good. And this one here does not have the splatter on it. So the one on the left does not have the splatter, and it's got a lighter shade of that soft seafoam than this one here. So you can kind of see they're a little bit different. This one here is a lot darker than this one over here. So you just never know what you're going to get. But I'm going to go through the comments just so I can answer some if you guys have any questions. So go to the top here. I really thank you so much, and I'm really thankful that the AC wasn't too loud. I normally don't have it on, but there's just no way I could do this tonight without it. Yes, I finally found the die. That was awesome. 10 months without that one. Stitched so sweetly. I don't know which one stamps. What do I? Alright, so the word you is wonky on the right one. I think the word you is wonky on the right one. No, it's actually, Joni, it is stamped the same way. I don't see it wonky. Maybe it's because one is darker. This leaf here is darker, so it might look a little different than here. This is a much softer leaf foliage here, stamped. Doesn't look not frozen. Oh my god, I'm actually frozen now in my craft coon because the AC is too cold. Oh boy. Alright, what DSB is that? So Carol, that is called, let me just get it. It's over here. It's in the mini catalog. It's called Harvest Meadow, and it's a 12 by 12, of course. The item number is here. It's 156494, and I can kind of go through it with you if you want. Real quick, I keep my scraps in these clear envelopes because it's very helpful. And this is definitely pattern. It's definitely got some patterns going. So that's kind of like a grain, I guess. And then this is the back side. I've used quite a bit of this pattern here. This is going to be my Parks and Recreation class that I'll be doing in person. So Denise, I know you are local to me, and those cards, 3 of those is what you're going to be making. Here's another one. We use this pattern here, which is super pretty. I love the misty moonlight background on that white. And then here's this one, very Victorian. And then we've got the Calypso Coral color. There's a little bit of script in the background. Of course, I can't read that, but there is script. This is a really nice one too. Now this one would make kind of like a fancy masculine card with that pattern. And then here's a real cheerful one. Here's the pattern I don't really care for. It just looks dead to me and I don't like that. So definitely won't be using this side at all. No, just don't like that. This is much happier to me. And here's that kind of grain image, but with bumblebee. And then here's this really pretty soft succulent color. And here's some more. And I think this is just a repeat. Yeah, just a repeat there. So yeah, here's a big full sheet of this one too. So all right, so again, that's called Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper in the mini catalog. So it'll be available for a while. And so here's let me just go over all the cards. I'll put them out here so you can kind of see them. And then here's this one too. So we've got 2 sunflower cards. One that's kind of just shows off all that designer series paper. Now you can take this card design here and use any of the designer series paper, because we know all the designer series paper, when it comes as in a pack, all coordinates nicely together. So mix and match your patterns with different sizes and then just throw in a nice little strip in the background and it just flows really nicely. And then I just love, I actually like all 3 of these cards. So the final card, we always make 4 cards in my in-person class, so I'm definitely going to be using this one. I'm just not sure what I'll be creating, but I'm going to be cutting all of my paper probably this weekend for that class. And then we'll be shifting over to my card club, which ends on the 20th of this month. So if you don't know about my card club, it is a subscription. It's $38 a month, and we make 8 cards. And I always give paper, embellishments, and so we get a 6x12 paper of designer series paper. You'll get this ribbon pack that comes in gold and silver, and you'll also get the faceted gems as well, plus 8 kits. And I package really nicely. I'm actually very famous for my packaging, I guess. People love it. So I do all the die cutting for you, and you just need to cut your designer series paper, and I give you all of the measurements to do that. This is my favorite card out of all 4. It's a bookbinding fold. And this one here is You Truly Inspire Me. I use the birch, or not the birch, the bark embossing folder under there with the Cajun Craze. And then here's one, a Thinking of You card that uses both sides of the designer series paper. So this is a new design for Card Club. And there's the inside of that one. I'm using the silver. And then here's a thank you card. Love the designer series paper here. And then I use the sunflower die. So the dies that I'm using, I used for this one here, this kind of like foliage comes in that, and we used Mary Merlot and Cajun Craze as the colors for those. And there's that little sweet cinnamon cider bird. I like how I designed this one too. On the inside, we used the wood grain patterned on that paper with the dino, gosh, I'm gonna call them again the wrong thing, but the dies there with that second bird. So when you die cut the birds, you always get 2. So that's super fun too. Anyway, that's my card club, and that is available on my website. You can register, $38 a month, cancel anytime. But if you are subscribed for 6 consecutive months, I will send you $25 worth of Stampin' Up! Products, and I always include things that we all like to have in our craft room. Lots of adhesive, envelopes, could be anything. You just never know what I'm going to be sending out. So, um, and if you're not a demonstrator, there's a great incentive to belong to Stampin' Up! And also the Inspired Daisies team. So if you missed the very beginning of my infomercial at the beginning, I showed you where all of the Inspired Daisies team of stampers are from. We have 13 of us. I'd love to make you part of my team as well. So Kentucky, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Texas, Vermont, and Washington. So you can go to my website, inspiredbygraham.com, to learn more about that. You can go to the Join the Inspired Daisies team page, join now, and it'll bring you to here, which will describe there's no commitment or obligation, and what you kind of get for signing up through Stampin' Up!, and also what I offer my Inspired Daisies team as well. So hopefully you'll take a peek there, and if you are considering joining, and that you join Stampin' Up! And you join our Inspired Daisies team. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. I know I will. I'll be home tomorrow, but then I'll be hiking with my husband on Sunday. So you guys take care and be well and stay safe out there. This world is just never ending of this COVID, right? All right, you guys take care. Have a great night.